We are back at it again, ladies and gentlemen. New week, fresh energy, new edition of shows on what is the hottest form of Alabama football talk. This is In My Own Words with yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. As I am live in studios, we are 3 weeks away from spring practice, ladies and gentlemen. The time of year that's very, very exciting for Crimson Tide fans when you look at pads popping, helmets clanging, plays being ran, Nick Saban yelling. It's the perfect mixture of ingredients to get Tide fans on their feet, but it's not just for spring ball. It's for summer workouts. It's for fall camp. Most importantly, it's for the 2019 college football season in which Alabama head coach Nick Saban trying to win his 6th national title at Alabama, his 7th overall for his coaching tenure. Got a great week of shows planned out here for you. And to start this off, we look at my top 5 defensive marquee players heading into next fall and the 5 guys that look to take on that leadership role. And starting this off at number 5, we go to Alabama's group of inside linebackers where we pick up Brandon L. Khol, the sophomore from Reno, Nevada, who's 6'2", 218 pounds, a heat-seeking missile on special teams. You want to show Nick Saban that you belong on either offense or defense, you got to prove that you can get it done on special teams. Julio Jones did it. Trent Richardson did it. Mark Barron did it. Landon Collins did it. Vinny Sunseri did it. Reuben Foster did it. Mack Wilson did it. And this past year, it was all about L. Khol, a natural head buster. 11 tackles, the majority of those on special teams. He single-handedly brought Alabama a top 5 signing class in 2018. For the longest of time in the offseason, that class was at number 6, outside the top 5, despite bringing in the likes of Ayabi Anoma, Patrick Surtain II, and Jalen Waddle. But the moment L. Khol came in late, the class bumped up from 6 to a top 5 class at number 5. Size-wise at 6'2", 218, he is like a C.J. Mosley. Both guys highly intelligent. C.J. Mosley, former All-American, former Butkus Award winner, 2-time national champion at the capstone. He is now with the Baltimore Ravens, former first-round pick of the 2014 NFL Draft. Like Mosley, Khol, very instinctive, very intelligent, great lateral quickness, a guy that can read the passing lane, teammates very excited about him. Defensive coordinator and inside linebackers coach Pete Golding raves about this young man and putting him with the likes of Dylan Moses, who returns as a junior at Mike linebacker. Moses and Khol, a dynamic duo. It's going to be very, very fun to watch Alabama's linebacking corps in 2019. At number 5, I've got L. Khol. Moving this down to number 4 on this list of impact defensive players to start spring ball for yours truly, got Jaret Maiden, the senior safety, senior defensive back, the native Texan at 6 foot, 197 pounds, had 18 tackles a season ago with 1 sack, 2 pass breakups. For me, Jaret Maiden's a natural thumper. Kind of reminds me of Landon Collins. When Landon Collins was at Alabama from 2012 to 2014, Collins was a natural thumper. He was able to create turnovers, but Collins never really in college transitioned to be that lockdown coverage defensive back. Hard hitter, would create turnovers if needed, but a guy that you just did not view as a knockdown, shutdown safety. When I look at Jaret Maiden, I see the exact same thing. Thumper, hard hitter, but he's got to improve those coverage techniques. And for me, especially with Deontay Thompson moving on to the upcoming National Football League draft, you return Xavier McKinney at strong safety, but there's going to be a battle at that free safety spot among guys like your Daniel Wrights, your Jaret Maidens, Eddie Smith, who was a part of that 2018 class coming back. He's now a sophomore. A lot of guys will be jockeying for position to get that free safety spot. I like Jaret Maiden. He's got a lot of big-time coverage ability, but he's got to be able to add that technique of locking down guys to pair with his ability to be a hard hitter. And as a senior, now is going to have to be that time for him to do this. And number 4, I have Jaret Maiden. Moving this on in to number 3, we go to Alabama's defensive line, where I pick up redshirt sophomore Badarian Mathis out of Monroe, Louisiana, Neville High School, the former 4-star, at 6'4", 310 pounds, bigger than what Quinnen Williams was. Quinnen Williams at 6'4", 6'5", 295 pounds. But Badarian Mathis a season ago, 18 tackles in 2018, was a Southeastern Conference all-freshman team selection. And just like Jaret Maiden, Mathis will have to battle Christian Barmore, DJ Dale, Tabitha Masika, just different guys lined up in trying to replace Williams at that nose guard spot. But Mathis has got the size, he's got the core strength, he's got the ability to be a stellar 2-gap blocker and run support, stuff in the run. But gotta get those hands tighter in terms of knocking off offensive linemen, shedding blocks, in terms of creating pressure to the quarterback. Because after what Alabama was able to do with Quinnen in 2018, the 19.5 tackles for loss, the 8 sacks for a guy that only needed 1 year to prove he was a big-time factor. Badarian Mathis, big shoes to fill, but I feel like if there's anybody that can get it done, the Louisiana kid, he can get the job done. Was busting heads last year in spring ball, which led to him getting some playing time in 2018. I think that will carry over to this spring, and Badarian Mathis will be a big-time factor. At number 2, we go back to Alabama's secondary, where we go to the cornerback position. Jaret Davis and Josh Joe will be studs in years to come. Both of those guys will be special. But Patrick Surtain II he got playing time last year that you can't put a price on. Valuable experience for the freshman out of Plantation, Florida, 6'2", 202 pounds, the former 5-star. Father, Patrick Surtain, senior, played in the National Football League, played with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Miami Dolphins, a Pro Bowl guy, so football in the bloodline, in the genes of his son. And Surtain, for the most part, played very well in 2018, was not tested a lot until the college football playoff against Oklahoma. Kyler Murray, CeeDee Lamb ate up the young freshman a little bit, but I think he will take that and use that to, in spring ball, being able to defend that back shoulder throw. It's a hard throw to defend because when you put that ball on the money, there's no defense for a perfect throw, but there are ways to kind of frustrate receivers, kind of get them off the top, off the crest of the route, reroute those guys and make it difficult for that back shoulder throw to be completed. And that will be something that Surtain will work on in the offseason, going into spring ball, and of course summer workouts, fall camp, and the 2019 season. Surtain, a season ago, 37 tackles, 7 pass breakups among the team leaders, did have 1 interception, was a Southeastern Conference all-freshman team honoree via the Associated Press, the Football Writers Association of America, and the Southeastern Conference, with the coaches in the Southeastern Conference. So a guy that, to me, if he can fine-tune his technique in defending that back shoulder throw, Surtain is going to be big time next season. Bringing this all the way down to the number 1 guy on my list, the number 1 marquee, impactful defensive player on the defensive line. It's going to be the 6'7", 316-pound man-child from Meridian, Mississippi, Raekwon Davis, the number 1 guy. When I look at Raekwon, defensive end, sophomore year, was a monster season for him. Led the team in tackles for loss, led the team in sacks, among the team leaders in quarterback hurries in 2017 was a ginormous factor. Now, whether that was due to Deron Payne getting double teamed and it allowed for Raekwon to have success, whatever the case may be, 2017 was big for Raekwon. As big as 2017 was, this past year, a huge disappointment as his numbers in tackles for loss, and sacks all dropped. 55 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, just 1.5 sacks. But with Quinnen Williams gone, with Isaiah Buggs gone, the boomerang goes back to the big man, and it was huge for him to make that decision to come back for his senior year because now he's got a clean slate. Gone is Craig Kulagowski. In is Brian Baker, somebody that's got over 30 plus years of coaching experience, 19 of those in the National Football League, an arena that Raekwon Davis is trying to get to. He's going to coach Raekwon hard. He's going to be on Raekwon. He's going to demand excellence from Davis, and I think Davis is going to be able to provide his position coach as well as head coach Nick Saban with that. Looking forward to seeing the reemergence of the giant Sequoia from Mississippi in Raekwon Davis. Running through these 5 guys again. My 5 impactful defensive players to start spring ball. At number 5, we got A.L. Khol, sophomore linebacker, inside linebacker. Number 4, Jaret Maiden, senior defensive back at the safety position. Number 3, Badarian Mathis, redshirt sophomore defensive lineman. Number 2, Patrick Surtain, sophomore cornerback. At number 1, senior defensive end, Raekwon Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to do it for this first segment of shows here on In My Own Words. As always, you know what to do. If you want the best content in terms of Alabama football, you go to the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. Download that today. Your number 1 source, your stop shop. Practice recaps, game recaps, highlights, recruiting, press conferences, player interviews. What is Nick Saban's facial hair like? We are the plug for it all. New insight, something new, something cutting edge. Check it out. iPhone App Store for all Team Apple, Google Play Store for all Team Android. If you like the In My Own Words podcast, you can check it out. SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Apple Podcasts, Overcast.fm, Google Play. No excuse not to check out the hottest show on the streets in terms of Alabama football. So check out the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. Defense was first segment. When you come back from the break, we do the offensive side of my marquee players for Alabama entering spring ball and the 2019 season. Don't touch that dial, folks. We're just getting cranked up. We'll be back to In My Own Words.